I heard that you were thinking about getting into estimating. Um, so let me walk you through um, what I've done. I am currently an estimator. I've been estimating in the civilian world for 5 years. Before that, I was in the Air Force. Doing construction, and of course for small construction projects you're going to need to estimate because of course it's illegal to waste the government's funds, so you kind of have to be strategic about how much of this and how much of that. In the civilian world, the first job I had as an estimator was with residential estimating, um, residential construction on houses that needed to be remodeled, basically taken off the market, remodeled, and then put back onto the market for a higher price, of course. um, at that place, that would have been my first year. I was making 42,500. And the residential estimating work, it wasn't necessarily that bad at that company and at that salary range because they knew that I was just getting into at least the computer side of things. We use Salesforce, and a few other programs to. Salesforce is a CRM. Um, for takeoffs, we used Eagle View, which is this thing that can kind of view down on the tops of the roofs of houses. Um, and Sage, I think, which is another CRM. But anyways, basically in CRMs, if you don't know and you're getting into estimating, which I'm assuming that you are watching this, um, is just the way that you track bids, basically, and make sure that they've gotten the customers, contracts, all of that type of stuff. So my second position was with Janus International. And so these first two companies are larger sized companies, and kind of pay attention also to my salary range at these larger sized companies because it's probably going to show you something. As I've gone throughout my career, I have stepped down into smaller and smaller companies. And as you can see, as I tell you for each company, you'll see that my salary has gotten larger as I have gone from smaller to smaller places. Um, so Janus International, they were self storage. Um, they would do a lot of TI work. So let's take an old Walmart and transform that into self storage, like a Cube Smart, or a ground up like a U-Haul building. There, I was making right at 52.5. Um, and we used Plan Swift. I started off actually using markers, basically just printing out the plans and using markers to mark up the plans and then getting the counts and stuff like that, which you'll learn over time if you start with paper, is that it's hard to keep count of all of those things because you're trying to use your brain to remember what the last number was before someone asks you a question or you get a phone call or something like that. And it's hard to go back and remember. So using a computer as your brain is kind of obviously a lot better. Or we wouldn't have made computers and gotten this far. I'm shooting this on a freaking computer. It's like on an iPhone. But anyways, so it was there. The work wasn't necessarily that bad on one hand, but on the other, it honestly, that place may have had the highest workload. And again, the salary is at 52.5. They did a lot of things with paper, and this is pre-COVID, which of course a lot of us know that paper kind of went out the window after COVID. So moving on to the next company, that would have been True Metal Solutions. They are a contractor that does a lot of metal work, and decorative metal and waterproofing, coping cap and what's up under it, exteriors, corrugated metal for roofing, and all of the waterproofing that would go with it. Um, and so there I was making 82,500 at the time. Um, they definitely taught me a lot. I think I started using Bluebeam there first. And Bluebeam is a very widely used system, the same way PlanSwift was whenever I was working at Janus International. Bluebeam, and they used, I think they would have been using Salesforce as their CRM as well. Um, and a lot of different, very large size projects, hospitals, schools, um, and again, like I said, metal and waterproofing. There, and where I am now, Go To Services. It is a smaller company. Um, True Metal Solutions was smaller than Janus International, and um, Go To Services is even smaller than True Metal Solutions. My current salary is 114,000 a year. Um, no real extras like you would get in a software engineer position, like um, stock in the company or something like that. Just benefits, not even necessarily the best, covered at a 50% on benefits for me and my family. At least like healthcare, for instance. I think there's a 401k, whatever. Um, they are a general contractor. I have learned plumbing there, some electrical work there. We do still do metal, drywall, paint, just a plethora of different experiences at a GC, which is what I've been working towards. And as you kind of see my career, residential, self storage, um, general commercial metal projects at True Metal Solutions, and then finally Go To Services as a GC. I've kind of tried to broaden my horizons and know a lot about, or a little about a lot of different subjects versus a lot about one specific subject, but you could do it either way. Um, but there are schools, commercial projects, government projects, just a plethora. And so, estimating is a great career. You can do it. I'm not the smartest person in the world. I didn't get the greatest grades in the world. I can sit down in an office and I can do math. And that's kind of the prerequisites. I'm not even sure that you even need any sort of degree. I have an associate's. I was in the Air Force prior, um, and that's what got me in estimating. And so I think you can do it too. Not a bad gig, and also I've seen plenty of people on YouTube and social media talking about how there are no jobs out here, and you can get one. It's possible. I mean, I don't even really work that hard, so I can't say it's hard work. The Air Force is hard work. sleeping sleeping outside, like doing carrying around freaking body armor and all that crap. That's hard. But sitting in an office on a computer, kind of, you know, doing math, looking at blueprints, taking them off, recording them in Excel, using different platforms to be able to create proposals like Word and Adobe and send those out to the customers. But, you know, try it out for yourself. And I've also been a project manager as well, and I've pretty much been a slash project manager throughout this entire time as well. I tried the project management side out. I live in Arizona and it is way too hot. I got to be in an office. But all right, guys, thanks.